Hi, I'm Udeichi, the bounce up expert, rewriting stories and rebuilding nations. In the last video, we looked at the process of selecting our thoughts. And one of the things we looked at was the place of awareness, because you cannot select what you're not even aware of. In that video, we pointed out strategies on how to be aware of the thoughts going on in the mind of someone and how to cut them and make room for the thought we desire to come in. Today, we are looking at the second step, which is separating facts from fear, because contradicting situations mix truth with exaggeration. But when you separate facts from fear, you're able to think differently and you're able to think positively. You realize that fear speaks in absolute terms. And so when you're in the midst of conversations with people and you hear them talk and you use terms like always, never, finished, that these people are speaking from a position of fear. Fact on its own term speaks in specific terms. I remember some years ago, I had a project to do for a client. It was the first time we were doing that kind of project. And we had engaged someone who came from that part of the state. It was a nationwide project. And we had given him the project to run the pilot in that particular state. And weeks on weeks, he kept giving us stories. And when you reach out to him, he will tell you, this thing is difficult. And because at that point, I hadn't left my state. I hadn't left Lagos, where the office is based. I was afraid of leaving Lagos to go to some other places. But as I kept waiting for him to send in the report, I realized that 6 weeks had gone. And one morning, I made up my mind. I told myself, whatever is going to happen, let it happen. I entered the flight and I landed in that particular state. And under 1 week, I had concluded about 10 of those particular shop painting projects. It was then that it dawned on me that it was fear that was holding me back. And so when conversations begin to go on in our mind, we should be able to separate the facts from fear. So a very important aspect of the mind selection process is training your mind to ask, what are the measurable facts here? I would like you to try this out by taking one current challenge. Get a sheet of paper, divide it into 2 columns. On the left side, you have facts. On the right side, you have fear narrative. You will be shocked how much mental noise you'll be able to eliminate by this simple process. It's in this process that you will realize that fear has been dominating the conversation all this while. Clarity creates calmness, and calmness enables execution. You will notice that 60 to 80% of your stress comes from interpretation and not from reality, because whichever way you interpret a matter determines how your system is going to react towards it. And the proof that this process works is seen in this cognitive behavioral therapy, which is one of the most effective psychological tools globally. It is built on this principle. And the principle merely states that if you're able to change your interpretation of a particular matter, of a particular conversation, you're able to change your emotion. And that automatically results in a behavior change. I remember also some time ago, we got a project from a client to do some socks branding project. And before then, we had this supplier from somewhere, from China, that had given us the samples. But when the order came in, the supplier said that the quantity is too small, that is below his minimum order quantity. And we're running around trying to get a new supplier. It was a very, very difficult thing. I remember vividly that I was in a traditional event somewhere in one of the states in Nigeria. And it was with my Curve 2, BlackBerry Curve 2. It was an event. There were celebrations going on. But then with my phone,
BlackBerry Curve 2, I was searching. I kept searching. And I can't remember exactly how I entered a particular site. Boom! I saw uncountable number of suppliers that were prepared to do my bidding. And so when you change the interpretation of a matter, you will be able to change your emotional response. And once you're able to do that, you change your behavior. When behavior changes, outcomes change. This method, CBT, has been validated across decades in clinical psychology, leadership coaching, and executive performance development. When you separate facts from fear, you're not just thinking positively, you're thinking accurately, and accuracy is power. And so, in the thought selection process, I need you to remember that number one, you need to be aware. You need to be aware of the conversations going on in your mind. And when conversations that are running contrary to that which you desire to achieve steps in, you shut the door to it. And step two is the ability to separate facts from fear. In the next video, we're going to step three. It's going to be an exciting experience. And one very important thing I need to mention at this point is that you shouldn't be a hearer of the word only. Be prepared to engage the process. And over a period of time, you realize that you have done so much more, that a lot of things you had abandoned in the past, given up on, were as a result of fear, as a result of ignorance, as a result of your inability to allow thoughts from different facets to come in and to choke that which you had designed to do. I remain Okey Udeichi, Mr. Bounce Up, rewriting stories, rebuilding nations.